Thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, this is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. The Supreme Court has affirmed that the President has constitutional authority to declare a state of emergency in any part of Nigeria to prevent a breakdown of law and order, including the power to suspend elected state officials. In a split 6-1 judgment delivered on Monday, a 7-member panel of the Apex Court held that such suspension, while extraordinary, are permissible under the Constitution, provided they are temporary and aimed at restoring stability. The ruling followed the dismissal of a suit filed by 11 state governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), which challenged President Bola Tinubu's suspension of the Rivers State Governor, his deputy, and members of the State House of Assembly after emergency rule was declared in the state. The plaintiffs argued that Section 1, 2, 5, 2, and 305 of the 1999 Constitution did not empower the President to suspend democratically elected officials or state legislature. In the majority judgment delivered by Justice Muhammad Idris, the court held that Section 305 grants the President wide discretion to adopt extraordinary measures during emergencies, as it does not expressly limit the nature of such actions. The court also upheld the preliminary objections by the Attorney General of the Federation and the National Assembly, ruling that the state failed to establish a valid dispute to invoke the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction. Consequently, the suit was dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. Let's get talking. I still have Innocent Adoluba. Thank you so very much, Innocent, for hanging on. Jurisdiction. Let's get talking. I still have Innocent Adoluba. Thank you so very much, Innocent, for hanging on.
I'm still here. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you so very much, Innocent. Now let's get talking. I'd love you to expressly.
Innocent.
Now let's get talking. I can hear you. Can you hear me, Innocent? Expressly. Yes. Are you still there, Innocent? I can hear you. Can you hear me, Innocent?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can get the connection back again, so we can get talking. Let's see if we can get the connection back again, so we can get talking.
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you. So, what's your take, Innocent, on the latest? Actually,
Okay, let's go.
what's your take, Innocent, on the latest? Actually,
Well, it tells you that I know this is best handled by a lawyer, but it's still at the political level, and it tells you that representation in Nigeria is very shabby, very poor. Nigerians are experiencing the paradox of representation at this time. If these kind of scenarios exist, Nigerians will crave constitutional amendment where such powers are subject to judicial review to avoid abuse. But in Nigeria, we don't amend constitutions. In other countries, it's not big deal. Today, in an hour, a section of the constitution can be debated and amended during a parliamentary session. Here, it's a ceremony. We fix a date and look toward it. Where there are such discrepancies, you review, you amend, you discuss, you debate, and get it clear. The Supreme Court is Nigeria's apex court. The Supreme Court cannot be doubted. If the Supreme Court passes a verdict, I don't think it can go back again to appeal court. If you want to look at the hierarchy of courts. So that if the Supreme Court is saying that this Section 305 does not confer power to the President in this regard, having so said, is the Supreme Court enforcing what the Constitution says, or they say it for rhetoric and then watch the National Assembly and the President, that is the executive, behave and display such impunity? It is one thing to tell us that, yes, this is not, and another thing to uphold and defend it. Because in the deliberate silence of the Constitution on the spirit of the Section 305, it is subject to review. It's subject to review. And so I'm sure this is on the back of the incident with Governor Fubara Simnalayi, who has since returned from a 6 month after March 18th and has pitched camp with the APC, making a mockery even of the entire argument of the validity of the presidential powers or not, Harry.
It's actually very sad, Innocent, that we are having to discuss this at this point. Because most of the time we ask ourselves, is this democracy that we are practicing? Because you did mention cases of abuse. Because you did mention cases of abuse. Pundits have equally said that we know the president that we have is someone that does not listen to the voice of reasoning to some extent. And
voice of reasoning to some
extent,
and therefore the possibility of abuse
on this what do you think is our worst case scenario? What do you think is our worst case scenario with given President Bola Tinubu opportunity to use given this latitude and opportunity to use it as he will?
Okay, from my background. A political scientist, I can tell you government is constitutionally superior to the other. Did you get that?
No, say it again, please.
Of the tier of government is constitutionally superior.
No, say it again, please.
Yes, I'm coming now. I said from my experience, from my studies as a political scientist, it is categorically clear that no arm of the government, no tier of the government is constitutionally superior to the other. And none can, how do I put it, lawfully usurp the powers expressly vested in the other. The judiciary, like in the US, they elect their own chief judge. So in Nigeria, with all of this I'm telling you, it is now mere rhetoric. No arm is superior to the other. But the executive appoints the head of the judiciary, talking about Attorney General, Chief Judge, if you get my point. And so this is where the overlaps are complicit. The overlaps becomes political because the judiciary looks up to the executive, talking about the president, lobbying, currying favor to gain favor of appointment. These are aspects that I said in a single sitting can be debated, amended, adjourned, concluded, Harry, possibly within 1 week. Within 1 week. So, but if this remains like this, we have in Nigeria one of the most powerful executive arm of government in the world. Their power is behemoth, is gigantic, is enormous. And as we can see, there is no telling what happened that made Governor Simnalayi Fubara, having survived his 6 months period in limbo, now a free governor, to be defecting into the APC. There's no telling. You and I don't have full details. So, but with the enormous powers vested in the executive and the president, my brother, we can't tell the level of inducement, the level of stepping on the neck like George Floyd, the level of pressure. You know, if you studied a political power, it exists as force, as manipulation, as domination. So we don't know which form of power is in play that a comfortable governor will be defecting into another party. You can see the case of Adeleke in Osun State. The ruling party has pulled all strings that stifles opposition, such that Governor Adeleke will have nobody to sign his papers. He goes to Accord Party. We cannot tell for sure the forces that chased him to the Accord Party and have forced him now into a cul-de-sac. He cannot make progress. I don't know if he can reverse himself either. So these powers also have empowered lots of governors to throw away accountability out of the window in the afternoon. If you are not doing well and you are not sure your constituents or state people can vote for you, you are on the brink of a changing party into the APC, and when you are there, you have aligned yourself with the ruling party. They also possess the highest war chest, political war chest, and rigging capacity. So where I am to have ruled well and endear myself to my state people, say like Governor Uti, no, I behave recklessly, pitch camp with the APC, and my ascendancy, my success is assured. The APC now is the political insurance needed by any governor from an opposition party, Henry.
Very despicable, innocent that was saying this actually.
Innocent that was saying this actually.
It's
looking like
this is 1945
and
not 2025 at this point.
Not 2025
but my big question is, why did it take the Supreme Court so much time to decide? Did they do all of this decision while Siminalayi Fubara was still with the suspension? They didn't decide on this. They had to do it when Fubara had returned back, had moved to the APC. They're singing on your mandate we shall stand, and there's no other person better than Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And this is the time the Supreme Court decides is the best time for them to let Nigerians know what their decisions are several months after it was brought to their ears and their eyes.
It was brought to their ears and their eyes. What's your take?
Well, Henry, it's political. That's the summary. It's politics at play. The Supreme Court, like I explained to you, have appointees by the executive. So this I think it's like they are bringing us good news, but they came by night bus. Those that took morning bus have delivered their own good news. The news they are giving us is instrumental, is good in the arena of political socialization, but is belated and almost useless. So if they tell us this is what it is, it should be backed by enforcement. It's the same way the governor tells you snakes swallowed trillions of dollars, and we all go to sleep. Nobody is held accountable, nothing changes. So, and this is why globally you hear talk is cheap. What they are doing is talk. There are a few dissenting voices among the Supreme Court who don't agree with some of the political gerrymandering propaganda ongoing. But by unanimity rule, if it is 6-1, 5-1, the one does not count anymore. So Henry, it's what it is in the country at this time. Nigerians, if you ask me, would like to see a situation
we have,
where,
of course, to do lots of talking in the future.
Lots of talking in the
analysis will be done on this, and of course, Innocent, I hope you'll be around to help us reflection some of them as it comes to us. Thank you so very much, Innocent, for being here. We truly do appreciate you as always. Thank you so very much,
Innocent, for being here. We truly do appreciate you as always.
My pleasure to me.
Beautiful. All right, that's just about the time we have for today. I love to believe you enjoyed our conversation. Please do well to visit us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV. Have yourself a splendid day. Bye-bye from us.